Hello, beautiful. I am very happy to welcome you in my podcast. My name is Soulmates, hey, and this is my podcast, Filter Cafe and Prosecco. And I'm doing this podcast because I want to share topics that are in my heart and that I want to spread around the world. And maybe you wonder why I have a German accent. I'm German, and I'm doing this podcast now in English because I'm mostly in English surrounding. And sometimes I will still podcast in German, but since that's also my philosophy to just go with the flow, I will just see what it brings, and I will stay agile and flowy to the things that my surrounding asks for me, and that's also very connected with the topic I want to talk to you, or what I want to share today. It's how sensitivity is super important for our world, and how we normally suppress it, and how that can even cause sickness. Yes, this will be a solo episode, so don't expect somebody to suddenly hop in and talk with me about it. It's also, it's something I discovered myself, after a long period of struggle. I kind of found this out for myself. I didn't really had somebody telling me this. It was really knowledge I got from living through my life. And it started actually all when I was, how old was I? 7 maybe? I think 7. I guess it started earlier, but I guess the most memorable moment I have in my mind right now is when I was 7, when my parents split up. And I don't know why, but I wanted to be strong always. I think that comes from society. My parents split up. We sat on the table, and they asked me, like, is that okay? Like, what is happening with you? And my 7-year-old me said, that's okay. It's okay when you split up. It doesn't matter so much to me. The most important thing is if it's good for you, it's also good for me. And and people would come to me and ask me how I am with my parents split up, and I would say if it's good for them, it's good for me. And I would get, rewarded for that. People would say, oh, great. So wise, so grown up how you deal with it. And wow, so great. And even if you would wake me up in the night, shake me awake and ask me, how are you with your parents split up? I was completely to the bottom of my being convinced that I was okay with my parents split up. Yeah, I guess you, because I tell this here, you already have a clue that I actually was not. And it was like that. I needed, I think 10 years or more. I think I needed like 12 years to discover how I actually was not okay with it, because I engraved it inside of me so well that I couldn't access this pain that I suppressed so well. I actually am very good at suppressing emotions. I'm a very happy person, and I am very easily, going away from the pain and rather being happy. I really like celebrated that for until I was 19. Was really easy for me to just show everybody my sunny side, and everybody would just be chill and cool when I was around. And yeah, it was just enjoyable for me to be happy and great all the time. Funny, actually. Sometimes I must say I miss it. Like, I miss my stability I had that days. But it wasn't honest. It wasn't what I am living right now, which I feel is so much more me and so much more honest. Because right now I'm really a cyclical being. I'm a person that I think goes very much with phases and develops with the dark sides, I guess. I hope. I try. I'm also not there, but I'm on my path. And I really had to learn this, all the things I am right now, or where I am also with my spirituality and my sensitivities I have. They all developed because I had to, because my body was kind of forcing me into it, which was and is a very hard process sometimes. I still have several things that are going on, and I had my tonsils removed now, so the tonsils are better, even though I have until then never had like a sore throat again until now, and now today I have a sore throat again. But I don't think it's my tonsils. It's because everybody's sick around me. So yeah, I discovered then, by suppressing these emotions of grief, these emotions of anger. I was also never an angry child. I was this perfect girl that would just be smiley and have good grades. And I mean, not always, of course. I was also wild. I was also quite wild. I was wild and cheeky, but always smiley and kind of happy and not really angry. And I think that's also a thing, if I can stick it to the gender now, because I was brought up as a female person, so I kind of also identified as that. And it is also a thing I think that is connected with being seen as a female person, that you're not allowed to be angry. That's why I sometimes try to just scream in public or just, I don't know, be angry. And I think it's not beautiful. It's not nice also sometimes to have that around you. And I try to not hurt anybody with it, but I think it's an act of liberation to be angry as a woman. Also because there was this like kind of time when angry women would also be just like told that they are witches and that they need to they need to calm down. But I think actually it was just because back then just women had no rights, and a lot of women were super under used. They just have so much proficiency, so many ideas and visions, and then they would just be in the house the whole day. I think I would get angry then as well. So how did I discover that my sensitivities are actually my, let's say, superpowers? I had this long road of being sick, and I was searching for answers everywhere. It was not, or it's still there, I must say, but it's not something I could heal like with saying, okay, I have a chronic inflammations of my bones and my jaw, which I had, or which I still have, I guess, but it is nothing like, it was not just this one road path. It was like a spider's web, or like a like a octopus with many arms. And one of these arms was discovering that when I would suppress my emotions, I would actually like suppress physical energy in my body. So that's also something I think is super valid, or is for me super valid to understand, that our emotions are energy traveling in our body. And if I'm talking about stuff like I can feel something, like I feel the energy, or I in any way kind of feeling something in my chakras, or that, it's mostly emotions. So emotions are physical energy traveling, and they're like thunderstorms in our body. And I'm sure you know it, like when you're scared, then suddenly you get this tight feeling in your stomach, or this excitement in your chest when you are super happy, or if somebody comes in to control your tickets, and you have this 1 second of shit, I don't have a ticket, but actually you have one. Then you can feel, I don't know, this feeling rushing through your spine. And all these things are actually emotions, or we could call them emotions, or we could call them energy in our body. And for example, I have many problems with crying in front of groups. It's also part of the whole topic with me, I think, because I started as a young girl to say girls don't cry, and I just stopped crying. So I suppressed completely crying. I suppressed being sad at all, and I had to learn or relearn crying with watching sad movies, and then I learned it again. So let's say it, but I'm still not. I'm still not able to cry in front of groups. I can sometimes do it in front of friends. That's already such a big trust for me. So, for example, when I suppress crying, I had it yesterday. I was in a group and I could feel this sadness, coming up in me, which would make me cry, and I felt this heaviness in my stomach, and this just this sadness in my brain, and I had to leave, because I knew that, I was suppressing it first, like I couldn't let it out, because I just couldn't. I'm still blocked with that. But then I went to the toilet, and there I cried. Classic. But it's not because I don't trust them to. I kind of, maybe, no, that's actually, stop it. Maybe it is like that. I don't trust them to hold me when I'm crying, or to, let's say, I think it's still the same issue with I want to be strong, and if I'm crying in front of them, even though they're my good friends, they might have a different image of me. It's really weird. I really don't, I'm not behind this, but it's so deep psyche that I kind of cannot access it right now. I'm trying to work on it. But if you want to just take this example and take this moment of I'm suppressing this crying, if we take that, then it's really like you would there's like this train, and it's like driving very fast, and then you would do like an emergency brake. That's like a lot of, let's say, friction. That's a lot of energy which cannot come through. Like it's like if you would I'm just seeing this whale, and the whale wants to squish out the water on the top of his body, like phew! And then you would just stick something in there, and the water would not be able to come out it's just stuck in the whale, then after time the whale would explode, or the water would maybe come out of his eyes or whatever it wants to come out. So it's really like that with emotions that we're suppressing. They come out somewhere else. They are looking for other ventiles where they can express what we are not able to express in the moment. Whew. Yeah, that's crazy to talk about this right now. I could, there's also a part of me that could cry right now, because it just makes me so sad that I'm doing that, or that I'm used to do that a lot. And I also think a lot of people do it. I cannot talk for anybody else, but I guess it is a common phenomena in our society, and it's so untrue, it's so wrong, because we all are emotional beings, and we all cry, or we should be everybody should be able to just cry when it comes up, and then we should feel so safe that our surrounding is holding us, and that we are not judged for whatever we are. And I see that with children, like I see how they cry for like 1 minute and then they laugh again, and then they walk and they do something, and I think that's so pure. And that's really how emotions work. I've studied psychology for 1.5 years, and one thing that I remember really like very vividly is that emotions actually don't stay long if we let them pass, if we kind of let them arise. They don't stay long only if we kind of rehearse them, if we stay attached to them. And that's so what happens to children. They cry and then they just let it go. And they continue playing. And I just feel that I want to relearn this so much. And it's also funny because it is also very vulnerable of me to share this here in a way, because I'm not telling you I'm good with it. I'm telling you I am actually like not really good with it. I'm just wanting to become good with it. And but what I learned really about it is that these ventiles that are created can also be sickness, or it can be for you something else. For me it's definitely sickness, and I'm just super like interested in it, how I am suppressing my little child that wants to cry. And I try to reconnect with her. I try to sometimes listen to her. I talk with my inner child, just addressing her like little Solveig. Hey, how are you doing? And then I'm just listening in. If something comes like an answer, for example, like, oh, I'm sad, or I want to go outside, I want to climb a tree. She always wants to climb trees. And just giving her like a place in my heart where I can connect with what she wants me to do. And so I think that's something that really helped me with it. And also just really noticing when I'm suppressing emotions, because I think they don't fit in. Just running over my sensitivities, like I can do this and I just have to, go through it and blah, blah, blah. And then I end up being sick, or I don't know, feeling very drowned. And then I always notice that I actually am super sensitive, and all this being around people and doing all these things is super exhausting for my physical body and my sensitivities. And yeah, I am actually like super happy and super scared about now moving to the countryside, or more countryside. This will be the last podcast I will record in my old house, in my old room, which I adore so much, this room. So grateful I was here, and also super sad to leave this room. But also, like, I can't imagine now how this life will be at the new house, but it's definitely fear of the unknown that is keeping me back, or that is kind of giving me the feeling it's impossible for me to live at a different place. And it's still in Eindhoven, right? I mean, it's only moving from the city kind of to a countryside house with a big garden and some four very good friends of mine. It's actually a dream coming true. A thing that I manifested like 2 years ago. So it's beautiful that it's happening right now, but it's also sometimes super scary when the things that we always wished for are happening. So fucking funny. Yeah. So yeah, I hope there I will be less overwhelmed and more able to connect with nature, because nature is always grounding us, and nature is giving us what we are actually longing for so much. It's this calmness and this feeling of belonging, and only just being there with trees just helps me to calm down and to center and to come back to myself. And I hope I will just have that there more. But since I am from a big city, it's like one of my biggest fears actually to go to the countryside, or to be left alone on the countryside, or again, and generally to be alone maybe is one of my biggest fears. And yeah, I'm actually quite proud of myself that I'm tackling this. And it's also funny, yeah, how the thing that I always wanted to have, always wanted to wish for, is actually there right now, and I'm super struggling to accept it and to really do it. Yeah. So this was a little journey into sensitivity and in my way of living, the connection between suppressing emotions and sickness, or kind of other symptoms. And if you're interested in it and how to also work with it, you can also contact me on Instagram. Solveig Weimer is my name. And yeah, we can talk about it. It's really like also something that you have to figure out for yourself, I think. Just seeing like, when am I suppressing emotions? How can I maybe get in contact with my inner child? Because I think that's some like very valuable work to do. And yeah, I'm quite good at that, I would say, because I'm very young spirit and I like to do funny stuff all the time. But yeah, maybe drawing, maybe doing something silly, just asking your inner child what to do actually is the best idea. Going in a little meditation. I could do like a talking to your inner child meditation. If you want that, please tell me on Instagram and I will make it. Yeah. I hope you have a stunning day. I hope you today meet your inner child, maybe talk with them, and I hope the best for you and the world and our development as a human species. Let's go. let's develop into sensitive beings that don't have to pretend like they're strong all the day, all the time. And I want to see people cry in public, and want to see myself cry in public. Please, future Solveig, we'll do it. Lots of love, big hugs, and big smiles, and also big depth of emotion. Let it be, like, let it flow, whatever you want to be or want, like what is there, let it out. Kisses.